changes. I could actually see a lot of changes in my stress levels, and that's why I'm sharing all this with you today. So, have you ever thought, is stress good for you? It actually is. Let me tell you why. Now, imagine that you see a lion, okay, a lion right there in front of you. So, what does your body do? Your heart starts pounding, every muscle in your body gets tense, your brain becomes super alert, and what do? You run. And this happens because of the stress hormones that are created within our body. So stress is actually good for you. It's actually a gift given to us by evolution so that we can help ourselves whenever there is any crisis or a life threatening situation. But if we didn't have those stress hormones or the stress reaction, then our dear lion would definitely have had a good meal. So we should be grateful that we have this stress response. But the problem is we have actually kind of, using it for other situations where we do not need to use it. So let's start and understand what happens to your body when you have stressed. So when you hear, see, or perceive a threat, immediately nerve signals whisk a message to the brain, which produces rapid hormone production called adrenaline, which has a fight or flight response. Then this rush produces cortisol, which is a stress hormone. And what cortisol does, it's amazing, it actually stops anything which is not important so that you could deal with the situation. And, it boosts your blood sugar, it makes the heart beat faster. And then that's what causes stress in our body. But as I said, the problem is that we have made expectations as stress. So if something doesn't meet our expectation, we lose it. And in a long term, that can actually have stress, have an effect on our body. Now, let's see what happens when you have excess cortisol in your body. You can see all the effects. There's depression, there's hypertension, there's chronic fatigue that could happen, migraines, hunger, arthritis, acidity. All these things are also effects of excess cortisol to the body. Now, do you know that the stress has actually become a silent killer? And these are worldwide statistics. Do you know that 77% of people regularly experience physical symptoms of stress? That is pains and aches and pains. We have 48% lying awake at night due to stress. They can't. We have 87% of people world over who are emotionally disconnected due to stress. 73% experience psychological symptoms that's caused by stress, like insecurity, anxiety, sense of hopelessness, boredom. 73% can actually hear that, can actually feel that. 33% feel they're living with extreme stress, and 48% feel their stress has increased over the years. So it's really time that we do something about this. There are two kinds of stress. There is acute stress, which is sudden, short term, and you're back into your foray. And there is chronic stress, which can actually cause a lot of issues. Something that we seriously need to address. And somebody told me if stress could burn calories, we would all probably be supermodels. But let's, jokes apart, let's focus on action. Let's see what is it that we need to do. Let me tell you 5 foods that actually promote stress in our body, that actually release cortisol in our body. So the first one is sugar. Did you know that sugar actually increases the cortisol in your body, making your body go through stress? Because it causes fluctuations in blood sugar and insulin, it causes irritability, it causes poor concentration. And sugar is an addiction. So this is like a kind of a vicious cycle that we are getting into. And the best way to get out of this is by replacing it with fruits and dates and raisins and figs. So, I have a terrible sweet tooth. So what I do is that whenever I feel that I need to eat something sweet, I just, maybe take a date or a fig and try and remain away from sugar. And in fact, I just went for a wedding today in the morning, and I had a little sweet which was made with sugar, and I didn't like it at all because now the sugar tastes terribly sweet. So it's something that we need to work on, but it'll definitely help. So sugar is something that we need to see. The second food that actually increases the cortisol in your body. Sorry, before that, let me tell you, there's no wonder that desserts spelled backwards is stressed. Okay. The second food that we need to think about, or the second condiment that we need to think about, is salt. Excess salt actually causes problems. And most of the salt that we get come from packaged foods. Packaged and processed foods have high sodium in it. So once you stop buying processed foods, automatically your salt levels come down. Because seriously, think about vegetables, we do not add so much salt. So salt causes bloating, it causes fluid retention, it drains your energy, it causes shortness of breath, and reduces kidney function and puts more pressure on your heart. So we need to start seriously thinking about this amount of sodium that we are consuming in a day. And just as I gave you a tip, get off packaged foods. That will cut it down a lot. And second, you could replace your regular iodized and regular cooking salt to either Himalayan salt or rock salt. Can everybody hear me? Clear? Okay, great. Okay, let me continue. So the first food was sugar, and the second food is salt. And the third, well, it's not a food, but something that we need to consider is alcohol. Alcohol is, alcohol and stress feed upon you, and it definitely increases a great amount of cortisol in your body. Alcohol is dehydrating. It interferes with sleep and stimulates the production of the same hormones, which is the cortisol hormone. So stopping alcohol is a great thing to avoid stress to your body. The next one is caffeine. Now, can you just see that caffeine is also present in your hot chocolate, in your green tea? We have 45 milligrams of caffeine per cup in black tea. And your colas, your drinks, can you imagine? So what's wrong? Caffeine stimulates your nervous system. It irritates the digestive system, increases blood pressure, interferes with sleep again, and causes rapid heartbeat and zaps your energy. So honestly, we do not need that morning cup of coffee. Or, when I got married and I came, my husband would have at least 6 to 8 cups of tea in a day. And, he felt that he couldn't go to the washroom if he didn't have his hot cup of tea in the morning. And today he has zero and his motions are absolutely fine. So it's actually something that's in our head that we need it. So the best way to replace coffee would be going for herbal teas, which are made at home. So it'd be nice to just buy lemongrass and heat that and, sometimes put ginger or basil or cloves or tulsi, whatever you like. And it's really delicious. And you're going to be definitely not putting any stress and making sure that there is no excess cortisol produced in your body. So I repeat, we started with sugar, second was salt, third was alcohol, fourth was caffeine, and the fifth one is refined grains. Do you know that refined grains actually produce stress into our body? Because they put a stress on our digestive system. So Sharan always recommends to only have one grain at a time. So either you have a roti or a bread or you have rice, but you do not mix both together. They are void of nutrients. So it's really, you know, not getting any nutrition from the kind of um, grains that we have. And gluten also actually promotes excess cortisol in your body. So what we should be doing is, instead of having whole wheat rotis on a regular basis, start introducing millets to your diet. Even oats that we use are usually quick cooking oats, which are white refined. So have whole rolled oats. So let's start seeing how we can try and get rid of these. So you don't actually kind of get rid of all this, but you just use alternatives. So apart from these, 5 foods that are generally said to cause stress in your body, have you ever really thought stress to your body? Now, I was a non-vegetarian. And I became a vegetarian, and I definitely saw a difference in my stress levels. Anybody here in this room who has experienced that, who was a non-vegetarian and became a vegetarian and felt felt more calmer or felt a little different? Yes, Captain, you did, right? Um, because let's start thinking, you know, have you ever tried to catch a cockroach? We've tried to catch a cockroach. Can you catch a cockroach? A cockroach also knows that it's in danger. And it's not easy. Forget a cockroach, even an ant knows that it's in danger. So if a cockroach and an ant knows they're in danger, so won't a chicken or a pig or a cow or a lamb know that they're in danger? And if you remember, when we are in danger, we produce adrenaline in our body, and that adrenaline produces cortisol. So basically, at the time of slaughter, there is a high level of adrenaline in the animal's body, which remains in the body, and that's when we eat it, we eat outside stress too. I'm so happy for some of you to share that after going vegetarian, you did notice a difference. Now, the stress does not only come at the time when they're slaughtered. It's actually starts from the time they are caged. Hens are caged in such tiny cages, and they give eggs. And usually a hen is supposed to have, keep turning her eggs and everything, but she can't do that. So she feels stress on being choked up in that cage. She feels stressed that she cannot do anything to the eggs that she has laid. And then once the eggs are the chicks are hatched, then they don't see the mother, so they feel the stress. You can imagine a baby not seeing her mother feels the stress, and they're segregated. So the male chicks are actually ground. You can see this picture where they are ground in this machine. That stress is there, and this grounded chicks are then fed to the female chicks, who are kept for who are kept because they're going to be later on producing eggs for us. And what do they do with the female chicks? So the female chicks are eating the stressed out male chicks in powder form. And then the female chicks, they actually burn their beak. And they do that because they all are fit into one cage and they keep poking each other and hurting each other. So it causes a lot of stress. And some of them can't even eat because of their burnt beaks. That causes stress. Some of them can't take the pain and they die. And some of them actually experience the pain throughout. So when we experience pain, we are stressed. So we need to start thinking about or realizing that the stress actually starts from the time that the chick is hatched. Now, because we want so much meat, can you see at day 68, earlier times the size of a chicken, and today at day 47, the size of the chicken, because they're injected with growth hormones, and that too causes stress in their body. So, and then of course, and also, did you know that an average chicken lays 25 eggs in a year? But today, an average chicken lays 250 again. Can you imagine the stress that the hen has to go through to lay 250 eggs in a year? So from the time they're born till the time they are slaughtered, there is a lot of stress that's developed. And that's why when you stop eating non-vegetarian food, you can actually feel a difference in your stress levels. So the next question usually that people have is, oh, where do we get our protein from? You know, this who's vegan is a vegetarian bodybuilder, is having all his protein, and we do not need to worry about protein. And also, let's remember that, do you really know somebody with protein deficiency? In fact, protein excess is a problem nowadays. Kidney stones, gout is a result of excess protein. So we do not need to worry about our protein intake at all. And you know what? There is alternatives to meat now. All you need to do is go on Google and even go on our website, and you'll find amazing recipes where you will actually not even miss your non-vegetarian food at all. Alternatives are there for everything. But have you ever, or did you ever realize that cows go through immense stress to give us milk? So when I became a vegetarian, I definitely noticed a difference in my stress levels. But when I became a vegan, I could actually notice the difference dramatically. And let me explain to you why. Um, a mother basically gives milk when the calf is born. So the moment the calf is born, if it's a male calf, it's actually taken away because it's not going to give us any milk and it's of no use. So you can see the calf being taken away from the mother. So the mother experiences stress. I have seen videos where mothers are crying, crying and crying. In fact, we've heard that people who work in dairy farms actually have to go for counseling because they're so depressed listening to the mother's cries on a regular basis. So the male calf is taken away and they are left in a room to starve to death, and that is sold as veal and leather. So when we buy leather, we're promoting this. They're actually, and the calf is also feeling the stress. So even when we buy leather or buying veal, we are getting affected at a certain level. In fact, left to her own devices after giving birth, a mother cow would feed her calf for 9 to 12 months. But today, she cannot feed them. So can you imagine the stress that she undergoes as a mother? Now, next thing we have to remember is that, when we were feeding our baby, we were said that, be calm, because it's going to affect the quality of the milk and it's going to affect the baby. We were said, don't have antibiotics because it's going to, affect the quality of the milk and going to affect the baby. We were said to avoid certain foods like chana and everything because it's going to affect the quality of the milk and cause gas in the baby. But have you ever thought that what does the cow go through and what does the cow feel and what is the cow eating and doesn't that affect the quality of her milk and affects us? Like, because we need so much milk and a cow just gives, first of all, we take the cholesterol away, the first cheek that is called in Hindi, where we take that away, and then we need a lot more milk. So they are injected with oxytocin, which increases the production of milk. So those chemicals go into the go into the milk and affect the quality of the milk. Also, can you imagine the stress of having a machine put in their udders and the milk is coming out? They're constantly, you know, um, have pus and blood coming out, and then they're fed with antibiotics to kind of heal that. So we have the pus and blood going, plus the stress from the pain that they undergo, um, plus the effects of the chemicals that are there in the milk. So honestly, it's we need to start thinking where our food is coming from. And then, of course, artificially impregnated, so in kind of they're raped. So a cow is lactating and pregnant at the same time. And this happens for about 4 or 5 cycles until she's totally juiced out and then she goes in for slaughter. So basically, from the day a calf is born to the day it's slaughtered, there is immense stress that these animals go through. So if we have anything from them, whether be it their milk or their meat, we are definitely eating a lot of outside stress. And that's why once you start going vegan, then you can actually notice a difference in your stress levels, dramatic difference in your stress levels, actually. So the next question is, where do I get, calcium from? We don't need to worry about that. There are a lot of alternatives to milk. So it's not that we are missing out on anything. We have our cheese and our ice cream and our yogurt and our paneer and our milkshakes, everything. But we use these alternatives. We do even our calcium is there in the greens, in sesame seeds and flax seeds, in spinach. So if you just make sure that you're eating this on a regular basis, you worry about your calcium because that's kind of taken care of. Now, when I was doing this presentation, I realized that actually uh, we are eating foods that increase the cortisol in our body, increase the stress in our body on a regular daily basis. Because see, I mean, at breakfast we generally have milk and eggs and breads which are made from croissants, muffins made from refined flour, quick cooking oats. We're not realizing, but we are actually increasing the stress levels in our body. At lunch, we have breads and meat and yogurt and paneer, and even in during free times, snack times, we tend to have a lot of packaged produce which has a lot of sodium, cookies which has sugar, cakes, tea which has caffeine, coffee which is caffeine. So can you see, invariably we are actually adding a lot of stress in our body just by eating all these things. And dinner again, eat mostly of all these things. So, what are the foods that actually we should be consuming? Foods that relieve stress or foods that don't cause stress to our bodies. They're very simple and they're so beautiful. Green smoothies, like my entire family, we all have green smoothies every day in the morning. And I have a 4-year-old nephew who calls it his dinosaur juice because he feels so much energetic. If you go on our website, we have plenty of green smoothie recipes there. Fruits are so delicious, and salads. So if you ensure you you increase the amount of smoothies, fruits and salads in your diet, there's going to be a lot of difference in your body for sure. And because finally you're actually what you eat. But I must tell you something, which is again very, very important, is that okay, you will eat all the right things, but if you do not take care of your thoughts, then that's going to be a problem because thoughts matter more. It's the subtle body which controls the gross body. So, what we think is extremely important as well. So, that's something that we need to work on. It's not that I'm quite a bit conscious of what I'm thinking. And because I'm conscious of what I'm thinking, I can actually immediately detect that this is a negative thought and I need to work on it. But to reach to a stage where you're conscious about your thoughts, you need to put in a little effort. So some things that have worked for me or worked for other people are, attending a spiritual class, which resonates with your values. Um, reading inspiring books, watching inspiring films, having good company, being with positive people. I think these things really make a big difference. So we need to work on the thought level very, very much as well. Let me share a little bit about myself now. This is how I used to look before. So now you can see the lady, and this is how I look today. I have lost 17 kilos in a period of 8 months, and it's been nearly 2.5 years, and I've only put on 2 kilos. Um, I used to be very lazy before. I've become really active now. You can check with my family members, and they'll vouch for that. Um, I used to do a lot of procrastination, and now I just want to, finish off, just do it. That's made a lot of difference in my work. Um, I used to have a lot of confusion in my head. Now there's a lot of clarity. In fact, just yesterday we finished our 6 weeks program, and we had Rashmi, who was a participant, who was telling us that, sudden lot of clarity in my thinking. I mean, I just know this is what I want, and I just kind of go and do it. And that's what she felt in just a matter of few weeks. Like there's a lot of clarity. We've had a lot of participants who have spoken about clarity in their thinking. Used to get tired a lot earlier. Now full of energy. Multitask earlier, but used to be with stress. Now it's much more with patience. I had severity, as I mentioned earlier. I was actually advised to even have tablets, and I'm a very anti tablet person. So that kind of caused stress, but now I don't have any acidity issues because I'm following the whole plant based diet. I used to look my age earlier, I look much younger now. My 14-year-old and I share clothes, and my daughter doesn't like it when people tell her that we look like sisters. Um, my skin was dull, and today my skin is glowing. So imagine when you go on this diet, you stop going to supermarkets because you're not buying packaged and processed foods anymore. You stop going to chemists or pharmacies because you don't need the medicines anymore. And you even stop going to beauty parlors because the green smoothies do the trick for you. So all we would go is basically to the organic farmers markets, I guess. Um, but I must tell you something very important also is that apart from going on the diet and actually relieving stress in our body and relieving the stress from our animals, we actually relieve a lot of stress on our environment too. Because once you start eating right, a vegan each day saves 1100 gallons of water, 45 pounds of grain, 30 square feet of forest, 20 pounds of carbon dioxide, and one animal life per day. So not only are you helping your body, the animals, but our Mother Earth too. I think with climate change there, that this is something that we better start taking care of. I mean, I think we're already late, but what is the earth that we're leaving for the next generation? It really makes a difference to what we are eating. And like Dr. Nandita says, I believe that everyone can become vegan if they have the opportunity to make an initial connection. And that's what we're trying to help you make that connection. This webinar is one of the ways that we're trying to help you make the connection. Because honestly, veganism aligns us with our true values, which are compassion and oneness. So, how can Sharan support you? We have an amazing website. We've had a lot of people who have actually just gone on our website, found all the answers, and have changed and are doing so beautifully well. If you register on our website, we send out health newsletters every 2 weeks. So, just to keep you in touch with your health, which is actually our true wealth. So, do subscribe to our emailers. And once you do, make sure that it doesn't go into your spam. Maybe some of you are on our email list, but it's going into your spam folder. So, kindly make sure that you unspam. Uh, our emailers that come. We have a very active Facebook group, and please join our Facebook group, because we need to keep constantly seeing the information to be able to make a change in our minds, because it's kind of like unlearning, and we need to put in a little effort for that. We have an amazing WhatsApp broadcast that we do, where we send out health tips on a regular basis. We send out recipes also, which you can try. We have a Sharan India YouTube channel where there are a lot of recipes and testimonials, how to cook oil free. Um, Also, we have consultations which you can do online, or even meet some of our doctors. We hold movie screenings. We have cooking classes in various places. We have Dr. Nandita's seminars and workshops. We have the 6 weeks weight loss and health programs. We have the 21-day retreats, which are amazing. My dad has traveled all over the world, but he said this was his best, because he came back totally rejuvenated, minus the medicines that he was having for 10 years. And today he's also, sharing this knowledge with everybody. And we have 2 organic farmers markets in Mumbai. Yes, somebody asked for the WhatsApp number. If you would like us to keep you updated with health tips, weekly recipes, and details of our online programs such as this, which you could join, then please send us a WhatsApp with yes, with your full name, email, and city on this number. It's 99674 25200. I repeat, 99674 25200. You will get a message from our mobile. All you have to do is save that mobile number, and you will be automatically joined to our WhatsApp broadcast list, and you would be updated. So every morning you will get up to a message that makes you start thinking about your health. So friends, let's break up with stress, and it's really easy to do so. It's time for some questions, but before I go into that, there are 3 people that I really, really want to thank. One is Anjali for making this beautiful presentation, for helping me to make this beautiful presentation today, and Captain Joseph Pinto for always being there and always being such a strong support, and of course, not to mention Dr. Nandita, who's always mentoring us, guiding us, and who has shown so many people the way. So it's time for some questions. I can see one question now. Message system only for India? No, it's it's for all over the world. So you can definitely send us a yes. Thank you, Indrakanti, for liking the presentation. WhatsApp, yes, works anywhere in the world. I love questions. So is there any question, anything that you would like to share? Oh, that's so wonderful, Nishi. Thank you so much for sharing this. My HbA1c has gone down from 10 to 6.5 today just by going on the whole plant-based diet. Is Sharan India has any official association with PCRM? I think Dr. Nandita can answer that question. Dr. Nandita, do we have any official association with PCRM? Any other questions? Yes, so happy to hear about Nishi, because you have removed the wrong foods which cause stress. The WhatsApp number, uh, I'll just put, shall I put on that slide? So in case anybody needs the WhatsApp number, then can note it down. Um, some dietary guidelines. If you remove all the foods that we mentioned today, which basically are the five foods that I mentioned, which was salt, sugar. So basically go off processed, and also meat and milk. See amazing differences in your body. Amazing differences. Um, okay, let me see which other questions are there. So, Indrakanti, these are some dietary guidelines. Please start your day with a green smoothie. Lots of lovely recipes on our website. We have over 200 of them actually. What does one do about vitamin B12 and vitamin D deficiency? Namit, that's a very good question. Our whole plant-based diet actually can take you off all kind of pills except for B12 and vitamin D. These deficiencies are there even in vegetarians, non-vegetarians, as well as vegans. So it has really not so much to do with our diet. Um, so it's best to in fact keep checking your B12 and vitamin D and supplementing them. Again, if you go on our website, there is a lot about, and also recommendations of what are all the tablets that you need to take. Thank you, Akila, for writing this, for liking the talk. How does vegan diet correlate with Ayurvedic diet, as we used to ghee and yogurt? Ayurvedic diet prescribes ghee as medicine actually, so we do not need to have it on a regular basis. Also, you can actually make coconut butter, which is very similar to ghee, and use that. Uh, I explained to you what stress the animals go through to give us milk. So we are indirectly taking a lot of stress there. Also, another thing let's start thinking, does a cat drink cow's milk? Why are we humans drinking cow's milk? Do we really need to do that? Nature has given milk as a food for growth, for for the young ones to grow. Even our milk stops coming after a period of 1.5 year, human milk. That if we reconnect with nature, that means that's it. We do not need more milk than that. But so there are alternatives. We make a lot of yogurts. We just had raita today for lunch. So you do not need to worry. All the alternatives there on our website. Time join our cooking classes. Shaker, how vegan can save carbon dioxide, water, etc. In fact, we are going to be soon having a webinar relating to environment with Captain Joseph. So if you're going or on our WhatsApp, then you will definitely be updated about that. Animal agriculture is the main cause where we're losing a lot of water because a lot of slaughterhouses require a lot of water. Also, we need a lot of water to grow a lot of feed to feed these animals. More in detail, you can read on our website and also attend the next webinar when we have it. Availability of organic fruits and veggies at home is an issue for people who can't travel. Deepa, you're from Bombay, and we are very lucky and fortunate that there are a lot of organic fruits and vegetables available. In fact, you can even get them delivered at your home. If you go to our website on city directories, then you will find all the possibilities where you can order. In fact, just today, I had some of my fruits delivered at home. Of course, we have the two organic farmers markets in Bombay. One is at Juhu and one is at Thane. Please do visit. Since there are markets associated with Sharon, you can actually buy and eat everything there without even batting an eyelid, because we make sure that it's only healthy food that is sold over there. Thank you, Sharon. Uh, thank you for your thank you. Um, can reversed. I'm sorry, I'm not aware of this. Dr. Nandita, uh, is PC okay? I think Dr. Nandita has already answered the PCI
I've just joined
question.
to answer that question. Yes, most cases of diabetes can be reversed, even type 1 diabetes, but it takes some time. Type 2, most of them can be reversed. Some cases of type 1 may not be able to be reversed, but it's worth giving a try to every single one. And even if it cannot be reversed, the insulin dosage will come down dramatically.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you. I hope that clears your doubt, Bharti. Um, we have another question from Till. It says, letting go of coffee, how to catch up the body that will miss it. Till, coffee is an addiction. And we had a lady in our 6 weeks program who gave up. She was terribly addicted to tea. She was actually known in her entire family for addiction for tea. And once she made up her mind that she wants to give it up, it took her 2-3 days of some withdrawal symptoms that she got. But she's so thankful and so grateful because she feels so totally empowered because she's given it up. So I would recommend that replace your cup of coffee with you can make coffee beans. Beans. There is something called green peas. It's called it's in Hindi. These are so all you have to do is you have to they're dried green peas, okay, and all you do is roast them, dry roast them, and when they're cool, just blend them, and they actually are similar to coffee. So we've had some people who actually use that to make their coffee, but ideally we do not need tea or coffee. And if you start making herbal concoctions, like just take fresh herbs and boil them and have that. So the body basically is used to having something warm, so just replace the coffee with something warm, which is more healthier. And yes, you're going to be having some withdrawal symptoms. Just hang in there for the next 2-3 days. Read a lot about why coffee is bad for you, and I'm sure you'll be able to do it. I wish you all the best for that. Do you have a recording of this webinar so one can listen to it? Yes, Benaz. In fact, whoever has registered for this webinar will be sent a recording. And I would definitely request you all to forward this to others so that this awareness grows and people really start getting healthy and start realizing what they're putting up in their body. Deepa, availability, I answered that. Also, is wheat roti same as whole wheat, the gluten part? Yes, wheat has gluten in it, and but if you overdo it is where the problem arises. So earlier I would have wheat rotis on a regular basis, but now what I do is maybe have wheat rotis once or twice a week, but the other days I have more millet rotis. So I can have like a chickpea um, or a roti made from jawar, or roti made from bajra, or even rajgira atta, or uh, rice flour. So you can just, so that you reduce the amount. Can Okay. Any advice for toddlers? Meenal, um, I've read, since we've been on this diet, we do tend to do a lot of research, and vegan children are extremely bright and extremely intelligent. In fact, over intelligent and bright. In fact, my daughter's uh, grades actually started going up after she went vegan, because it gives a lot of clarity in your mind. So you're able to concentrate more because you're not having all the food. Nature just milk to our body for 1.5 year or max milk. We have quite a few people who are following the Sharan diet who have got babies and kids, and they have crossed their milestones beautifully. You don't need to worry about all that at all. While coconut does have huge health benefits, isn't it in kidney patients due to its high potassium content? Dr. Nandita, can I request you to answer this question about the coconut having high potassium content?
Actually, when we are treating patients with kidney failure, we often do the checks, and we allow them to have fruits and vegetables and even bananas, which have high potassium content, even more than coconut, and nothing happens to them. When we give the right fuel to our body just begins to heal. So, really, when we start eating the foods natural to us, it's so surprising how kidneys heal. And you can see this by doing the tests. And I know that the doctors say something totally different, but let's face it, how many people get better by doctors' advice for kidneys?
Thank you, Dr. Nandita. I hope that answers your question. Deepa, you are asking me protein source for those who have slow digestion. Doctors have prescribed whey protein but want to avoid it. Absolutely. We do not want to take anything which comes from packets and from bottles and packages unless it's made by ourselves. Please introduce smoothies. If you start thinking, where does the elephant and the horse get its protein from? They get it from the greens. So when you introduce smoothies into your diet, you do not need to worry about your protein and calcium. Fruits and vegetables also have certain amount of protein in it. Praveen has really become athletes. Oh, absolutely. If you go on the net, you'll find a lot of athletes who are vegan, a lot of sports persons who are vegan as well. So you find a lot of energy once you go vegan. So definitely a sports person is not going to, an athlete can actually perform and perform even better because there's a sense of clarity and a sense of calmness, which probably the others don't have as well. Can my tinnitus problem be cured? Dr. Nandita? There's a question from Amrit Pal Singh.
Just putting the answer. Tinnitus can be reversed very frequently and not always, but very frequently, yes.
Thanks. Asha Shivaram, you're asking what is the name in Hindi? What would that be for? Thank you, Indrakanti, for liking the presentation. Deepa is asking me, is Jaggery okay instead of sugar? That's a very good question, Deepa. Jaggery is also processed because if you start thinking, if we have sugarcane, how much sugarcane can you actually consume? Very little. Nature is beautiful in the so it's packaged in such a way that we cannot have too much. So that's why what they do is the sugarcane is actually the juice is taken out and it's heated and processed, and that's where liquid is formed, which is liquid jaggery called kakvi. And then from liquid jaggery, the second process is making the jaggery itself, and then it's refined and we have processed and we get white sugar, brown sugar, and then white sugar. But instead of jaggery, dates, figs, and raisins are great replacers. You can even take dried dates, which are kharik, which you get, and just blend them in your dry blender and keep. And so it becomes kind of like, looks like brown sugar. And you can just use that whenever a lot of, chocolates and ice creams, everything where we're using these alternatives, and they're amazing. Okay. Vegan athletes. Okay, great. I'm so glad you all are helping each other. Can we add bran husk to chapati flour, then consume it? Will this be same as millet? Let's keep things as simple as possible. Remember, we do not want to put stress on our digestive system. So let's just stick to one millet or just the wheat at a time. Were there any guidelines for mixing fruits and vegetables for preparing smoothie? Bindu, smoothies. The reason we have smoothies is because we want to have the greens. It's the greens that give us all the goodness, the vitamins and the nutritions which come from the soil, the nutrients. But if I were to tell you have mint or have spinach, how much can you have? So that's why we recommend green smoothies. Now, if I tell you to only have a glass of mint juice, it's not so palatable. So to sweeten it, we add a fruit. So basically, a smoothie is made from greens, fruits, and water. And if you wanted a little extra sweet, then you could add, dates or raisins or figs. Um, Only two, three things about smoothies. Please have it on an empty stomach. Do not mix melons with other fruits. And so you can probably add a banana and a strawberry, but you cannot add a banana and a watermelon, but you can add watermelon and muskmelon. So you can mix the melons and add, but ideally we just stick to the basics. Like personally, I only use bananas. And if you freeze the bananas, then the taste even gets better. That children love to have it. So I hope that answers your question about smoothies.
I just
Wheat
want
to
to
take or not?
clarify 1 minute. I just like to
Sure.
clarify that green means green leaves and never vegetables. No zucchinis and cucumbers, only leaves.
Yes, that's right. Thank you, doctor, for putting that note in. Wheat to take or not, Indrakranti, I've answered that question. Have it once in a while. Try and replace the other times with millets. Um, I think, Bharti, your question has been answered already about your 14-year-old daughter. Yes, thank you, Girish. Yes, we can add ginger or turmeric. Mixed with apple, but always make sure that it's organic, that all the leaves and the fruits that you're putting are organic. Thank you, Sharon, for the other vegan athlete's option. Which roti is better, wheat, jawar, bajra? Definitely jawar bajra would be better than wheat. And Okay. Would you hold normal seminars or workshops in Delhi? Yes, in fact, Dr. Nandita is soon coming to Delhi, and she's having two workshops there, reversing diabetes and hypertension, as well as peas versus pills. So I would highly recommend that you uh, attend the seminar. If you go on, all the details are there. It's sometime in the first week of March. And thank you. Okay, millet substitute for wheat. Okay, Deepa is asking me coconut oil, the virgin one is suggested for Alzheimer's. Any other suggestion for oil? Um, Sharon recommends the whole plant-based diet. So when you have coconut as a whole, or you have peanuts, or you have olives as whole, you're getting the oil directly. It's minus any process. So you do not need to worry about consumption of oil. Um, Also, human beings are the only ones who actually process their foods before having it. Animals in nature do not process their foods. So I think best to have the coconut as a whole rather than making the oil from it. Is jaggery okay with diabetes? Nishi, not at all. Definitely, if you're on a reversal, definitely no jaggery. Please use dates, raisins, or figs, subject you're following all the other things as well. Hi, Anup. Can we take rock salt? Yes, Indrakanti. You can take rock salt, sea salt, or Himalayan salt, and please ensure that you buy the organic ones. Are dried dates as sweet as fresh dates? No, but they work well as replacers. What about dates with diabetes? If you're following the whole plant-based diet, Nishi, then you can have dates. There's no problem at all. In fact, in Bangalore, we have quite a few cooking classes also happening. So if you go on our website, then you can check out. We have programs happening in Bangalore. Great. Can you please, Bharti, I think Dr. Nandana spoke about reversing about diabetes for your daughter. Why melons shouldn't be mixed with other fruits? Aniket, because melons have a different digestive system. They digest quickly, whereas pulpy fruits take their own time. So when you mix both of them, that causes kind of stress onto your digestive system. Is it okay for diabetic to have 2 to 4 a day? Geet, what is 2 to 4 of what? Will not banana increase weight or sugar level? Bindu, everybody who's following the whole plant-based diet, including diabetics who are following the diet, have a lot of bananas. Again, if you go to nature's packing, bananas are beautifully packed, easily happened and had, so you do not need to worry, and you will not put on weight. I have lost 17 kilos, and I have bananas every day in my smoothie and just otherwise as well. One more tip on bananas: if you have a lot of bananas, your sugar cravings also go down. So if you're following the whole plant-based diet, you do not need to worry about the bananas. Uh, is it okay for diabetic to have 2 to 4 dates? Geet, if you're following the whole plant-based diet, there's no problem. Okay. Yes, Indrakanti, we love doing webinars and we'll definitely do more. Thank you. Um, Can we eliminate iodized salt forever? Absolutely, Sushma. We do not buy any iodized salt at all. In fact, if you come to any of the kitchens of people who are following the Sharan diet, you'll not see oil, you'll not see salt, the iodized and refined salt. You'll see Himalayan salt, or you'll see rock salt, or you'll see sea salt. Dates should be without honey or glucose. Yes, thank you. Yes, dates should be, because a lot of people actually, dip the dates in honey or glucose. So try and always buy from a good source, and also, of course, they should be organic. Anything for stress and migraine headache. Anup, if you saw the presentation, um, migraines happen because of excess cortisol in our body, and excess cortisol happens in our body because of these kinds of foods, the 7 foods that I mentioned that we eat, and also because of the thoughts that we think. So in fact, my dad had terrible migraines. I mean, he must have done everything possible, including acupuncture, everything, but it's only when he started eating right that his migraines have stopped now. Thanks, Reena. Thank you so much, Sheetal. Thank you for always being there and being such a great support. Yes, Bharti, absolutely. Even when you're eating, not only for smoothies, but even when you're eating melons, you should not mix them. Okay, we have just 2 minutes left. So on Wikipedia, it's written that rock salt and Himalayan salt is same. Is sea salt and our normal salt same? The normal salt, Aniket, which you buy from is iodized and refined and processed. So try and buy it from an organic store. And that's the sea salt is direct, and it's probably cleansed and sold to us. Normal salt is iodized and refined and chemically treated to look beautiful and white. Will vegan food help in reversing fatty liver disease? Absolutely. How long does it take to lose 10 kilos of weight on a vegan diet? In our 6 weeks program, we have seen an average of 2 kilos weight loss for sure in 6 weeks, and maximum has gone up to 10 kilos. So if you're really doing everything well, and if you do not have any health complications, stressed as far as your thoughts are concerned, you can do it quickly. Thank you. I think we have 1 more minute left. Rice, please have brown rice, which is with the fiber. Thank you, Bharti. Thank you, Geet. Thank you, Shekhar. Um, I think it's time to go. So look forward to seeing you personally, or meeting you online. And would like to thank every one of you for coming today, and wishing you and your family great health from the Sharan team. Thank you. Goodbye.